Good day. Rewatched your review of my Kaga game. Thanks again. I have a question regarding deciding which side to support. The reason I ask is you made me think about my decision making on that decision. You made me think about my decision making. I find I tend to support the weak side, which obviously is too simple a response. More nuance is required. So, is it possible to present a reasons I make that decision? Da, da, da. Okay. It just comes down to looking at the map. So, weak side, strong side. Let's actually pull up Paint real quick. So if you're looking at the map, and they've got 6, or we'll say 7 of their guys over here. They have a CV because you're in a CV. Well, and then so that's what, 8, and they have 4 over here. Because often nobody's in the middle. So you've got 7, you got 4, and then you got 1 kind of in the back sharking around somewhere. So what you're saying is often you would work on the weak side, which technically this is their weak side, this is their strong side. And for all you know, you might have, an even split, 6 and, well, we'll do 5. So this is your strong side, and this is your weak side comparatively. Which one do you attack? Which one do you work on? If you work on this side, what is the reason for going for the weak side? You have freeze up assets. So the sooner this goes down, the sooner these guys start looking at something else to kill. They start looking for somewhere else to do something. So if you start working on this weak side and you end up crossing out, you get this guy done, and then these two hide behind a whatever. If you come over and you can dislodge these two, get them dead, then your 6 players are going to start looking for something else to kill. Until that, these guys are just going to stare at these two people until they're done. Often is what's going to happen. So you can free up assets by focusing the weak side, by getting the strong side to move back out into the map and start doing things. Other thing, less AA. Basically, the less of them there are, the less coverage they have. So theoretically, it's easier for you to go in and try to make an entrance, get reasonable damage in, do whatever you're gonna do. But the biggest thing about this is going to be freeing up assets or priority targets. So you might have one of these red ships, maybe an AA cruiser. Or not an AA, sorry, like radar, position. There could be something about one of these that is just going on, that they're doing in such a way that is cock blocking these 6 people. Like, for instance, hiding behind an island, or they have a radar protection that makes it so that these guys don't want to move forward because they're worried about it. Or there's a destroyer that's over there, and the destroyer could torp the crap out of anybody as they move forward, and they don't have radar for the destroyer. Whatever is stopping these guys from moving forward, stopping these guys from advancing so that they can move on to assisting the rest of the map. So you can come over there, and that goes back to freeing up assets. So freeing up assets often can, you can have a high priority target, or it could be something like this is preventing you from freeing up assets. And then of course the bonus is there's less AA. Over on the strong side, however, often it is hard. So in some cases, they're just too grouped. There's too much AA. There's nothing you can do. But occasionally, the destroyer comes in, or the cruiser goes wide, or something like that. Like that happens. So you're going to look for stragglers. You're going to look for people that poke out. And when we look at this, this is 6. No, this is 7, sorry. So, this is, we'll just go ahead and give this a number. It's 7 against 5. This is 4 against 6. So in this instance, if you pick off one straggler and then maybe a second straggler, and these guys just really, they've taken a bit of an ass kicking, but they haven't died. Well, you putting pressure on this, suddenly it's a 5v5. So you can look for equalization. You can look for trying to make it even so that your team can start to brawl effectively. You could also have an equalization, for instance, in a 1v1 scenario where, we'll just take this, where it's, an isolated scenario where it's 1 versus 1. Well, if you come in and you're able to whittle half of his health off, well, then suddenly it's half v1, so that's going to give your ally the advantage. Well, similarly here, just because it's a strong side versus a weak side doesn't mean that it's dead, and especially if you find that your weak side has bunkered up. If they're just like, we're in this to win it, we don't want to move, well, sometimes you have to look for stragglers. Sometimes you have to look for a DD that's pushed out too far, or somebody that's kind of broken away. So weak side is obviously the easier one to look at because there's less AA, they're probably more spread out, there's more opportunities there, you have more assistance. But sometimes you can stagnate the strong side, because if the strong side comes through, and if they're able to kill off your team, then where do they go? They go over here. And if this strong side beats your strong side, if this strong side moves faster than your strong side, well, then you start having crossfire situations. You've got shells coming in from here, and you've got shells coming in from here, and your team gets wrecked. So it's kind of a balance. Which side can you tip faster? Can you tip this side faster and the crossfire wins the day? Does bogging this one down so that it becomes mired in a back and forth attrition fight allow these to just kind of take it, win it, and swing it? It's reading the map. I don't have better things to tell you off the top of my head, but that would be kind of a general discussion on, weak versus strong. Where do you apply your assets?